Welcome to the continued testing of the SoloShot 3, and this is going to be with the Glue and Go MiG-29 that's available from Hobby King, which has been greatly modified to give the aerobatics that I do with this, which is basically stand on its tail and so on. So the camera's been calibrated, and now as you see it's dropping down to line up and center on the MiG-29, which is carrying the tag just basically slotted into the top of the fuselage and held with Velcro. Here I'm just all I'm doing is just plugging in the LiPo 3S2200 and getting her ready to go. So anyway, the flight is going to be, she's capable of 8-9 minutes whatever on this. She's a prop-in slot machine, ultra light, ultra maneuverable, and carries a 6x6 racing prop on a 2200 kV. Okay, so we're ready to go, and she just basically goes out of the hand. She'll go literally vertical out of the hand if necessary. So up she goes, and right, so she's tracking. Remember, I'm on tight and flight, so it's supposed to center onto they call it 10 meter. I don't know what they class 10 meter at what distance, but as you can see, she's trying to keep on it. She is tracking it, but it's maybe tight is a little bit too much for it in the flight mode. So there she is. She's in there, but she will go in and out of frame quite easily, and but at least it's tracking. The green LED on the camera is quite strong. So anyway, she's tracking. So here she goes. I'm doing a few hovers and just tight maneuvers, keeping in a small area. The area I'm flying mostly in is about 50 feet by 50 feet, so it's very tight. I would expect the camera to be able to keep her pretty well in center, but as you see, she comes out quite often, and the zoom, not a lot of zoom in. I think maybe because it's tight in, it's an Optic 25, so it's not going to zoom as much as so. Well, to be quite honest, I'm surprised that the 25 zoom is not as good as the 18 that's on my Fuji camera. My Fuji camera does a better job of it than this. Anyway, you can see she's hovering. She's virtually standing still in the air. That's what the prop-in slot does. So it will fly. As she comes over, as it gets nearer to the SoloShot, she really has trouble to keep the tracking, maybe because of the speed or the angle, I don't know. But anyway, you can see the zoom in goes in, and the zoom does put her in and out of focus. She drops in and out of frame. It's trying very hard to keep her. Now that was a close down to the ground, and that's approximately 30 feet in front of the camera, so she should have been able to track that, but she didn't. She tracked, but the model was well below the camera line, so she's having difficulty. So anyway, back out the distance again, she's got her. So obviously the angle of field of view allows her to keep in shot at a greater distance, but as the model gets closer, it gets increasingly difficult for the camera to keep it in shot. So anyway, she keeps flying. I've got a problem with the microphone. I don't know why. My remote microphone worked at the start, but then decided to stop working. It needs good battery, so maybe the battery's a little bit weak and she cut out. But anyway, the remote mic is a good addition to this machine, and it does work. Just have to put fresh batteries for a session. So I use recharge, of course. So anyway, so here we go. doing a lot of hovering, let the camera fixate and then bring around. She's staying quite well in frame, but I think the speed and the maneuverability of the model actually defeats the camera, to be quite honest. I think the next test will be with a wider field of view. Take it off tight. I tried the tight because I understand that as you change the field of view, it alters the amount of zoom in that the camera automatically does. You don't actually control the zoom yourself. It's actually controlled by the field of view setting. So if you set it tight, it will zoom in harder to a distant subject. If you set it as very wide, then of course it doesn't zoom in as much. So because the field of view that you're asking it for is much wider. The camera, am I happy? Well, it is tracking. So it's a case of learning more to use it more, find out what sort of settings to play with depending on what the weather and because like today it's very dull, so there's not much colour there. It's very grey overcast day, as you see. So I think it's doing quite well. It's just losing it, as you see again, as it comes closer. As you go out, as the model moves out, she gets back into frame again. But you see the focus going in and out as the zoom, I think, alters. But anyway, it's working. Like I say, just needs to be practice to see how to get the best out of it. I'm hoping that more people can join the Yahoo group that I started. I did that for Fly Sky radios. I've done it for GPS navigation, charting, and so on, and been very successful. Hundreds of people have joined those groups, and I'm hoping that SoloShot can join in with SoloShot 3 group as well as owners, and we can actually get to without the Facebook rubbish, which to be quite honest, Facebook is a cluttered site that's really, it's a media chat place. It's not really for technical. So I'm hoping the Yahoo groups will provide sufficient for technical discussion, improvements, tips, tricks, and so on. So get yourself on there. It's SoloShot 3 in the Yahoo groups, and it's recreation and sports section, I think. So anyway, as you see, it's focus in and out, but it's still, we're up over on the 8.5 minutes mark, and she's still videoing. Some people are having 8-second clips, very short clips with it going in and out. I did find that if you allow the tag to go close to the base unit, it will drop out and then she will not pick up again. And as you see, she's lost the landing but picks it up again once the model is stationary on the ground. So she's yeah, maybe the flight mode tells it to stay above horizontal. I don't know. Maybe it does that, but anyway, so I'm switching off my head cam, which unfortunately the head cam didn't record. Maybe the card was full. I needed to check. Anyway, the tag does switch off the recording. That's good. And so see you later with more tests. Have a good one. Cheers.